beside still waters. In the hidden valley, beside the still waters, was a rose more than just a beautiful bloom. It was a living embodiment of righteousness, wisdom, and purity. Its roots reached deep into the earth, fed by the pure waters of the lake, and its petals shone with a light that could only come from a higher source. The rose was a symbol of the soul aligned with truth, untainted by corruption, and standing as a beacon of what was good in the world. The traveler who had found the rose remembered a parable he had heard long ago, one that spoke of sowers and seeds. There was once a sower, the traveler recalled, who went out to sow his seeds. Some seeds fell on rocky ground, where the soil was thin, and they sprang up quickly but had no root. When the sun rose, they withered away. Other seeds fell among thorns, and as they grew, the thorns choked them, so they bore no fruit. But still, other seeds fell on good soil, and they grew strong, bearing fruit 100-fold. The traveler reflected on this as he stood beside the radiant rose, the very picture of what could grow in good soil. This rose, planted beside still waters, thrived because it had taken root in righteousness. Its wisdom came from the deep waters of truth, and its purity was untouched by the corruption of the world. It stood alone, yet it was more powerful than any dark force around it. But not far from the valley, in a land touched by shadow, there were other flowers. They too had been planted, but unlike the rose, they resided in barren soil, soil that had been tainted by evil, greed, and deception. These flowers grew tall, but their petals were dark, twisted by the bitterness of the earth they sprang from. Their roots were shallow, their beauty only surface deep, and within them was no wisdom or purity, only the hollow pretense of life. As the traveler thought of these flowers, he understood that they were like the seeds that had fallen on bad soil. They had sprouted, but their roots were weak, and they had no foundation of truth to sustain them. They could not survive the heat of trial or the thorns of temptation. They would eventually wither, just as darkness cannot withstand the light. The traveler then saw that the rose was not just a symbol of righteousness, wisdom, and purity for its own sake. It was a challenge to the darkness. Its very existence was a rebuke to the evil that thrived in the world. Just as the sower's seed in good soil produced abundant fruit, so did the rose by the still waters shine forth as a living testament of what can grow in the soul rooted in truth. Just as those seeds that fell in bad soil were destined to wither, so too would the flowers of dark.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?